This drill is Tai-Chi downswing sequence. So again, many golfers struggle with getting the sequence right when they take a full length backswing. So it's much easier in these 9 to 3s when the club is kind of even with the height of my hands, or my shoulders haven't been fully loaded. It's much easier to initiate that swing with my body. But when I start to get my shoulders more towards maximum stretch up at the top of the swing, sometimes it's a little bit harder to have the patience or the sequencing of using the lower body first. So the two main sequence drills that I use are versions of pump drills where I'm rhythmically kind of going back and forth to trick my brain into using more my core, because when I pump back and forth, it's very hard to do it aggressively, and it's very hard to do it in a way that would complement a heavy arm pull. So the two main complements would be more of a upper body lunge or more of an early extension, and it's really hard to pump back and forth with either of those two body movements. But some golfers aren't real comfortable doing pump drills. So the other common sequence training drill that I'll do is more of a Tai-Chi or a slow motion swing. So we'll go up to the top of the swing, and now I'm going to ask you to take at least 3 seconds to make your downswing. So we're going to go 1001, 1002, 1003. And I want you to make contact with the ground and with the ball. It's only going to go a few feet, so you can actually hopefully do this in the comfort of your living room or off to the side. So if I'm doing these slow motion swings, oftentimes what'll happen is some golfers will do these slow motion swings and they'll be up above the golf ball, kind of like so. And I'll tell them, you haven't solved the equation yet, because you haven't connected in your mind how you're going to get the club down to the golf ball. So if I'm here, the easiest way to get it down to the golf ball is to go a little bit earlier with my arms. And so what then happens is they do these nice looking sequence drills, and then when they go to actually hit the ball, because they haven't solved the equation, they go earlier and earlier with the arms. So oftentimes, just by doing 5 or 10 of these slow motion swings, where I'm gonna try and do all the movements that I'm hoping to train, and that was actually a little bit quick. You could see I hit that a little too far. By doing all these movements in slow motion, it will help your body and your brain coordinate the sequencing and the timing of how these movements fit together. So we'll do one more good one, hopefully kind of thinking about it a little bit more. So shallowing as I turn, that was a pretty good one, finishing where I wanted to in that release position. Went a little bit further than I wanted, but the sequencing was there. Let's see if I can slow it down even more before I then try to add a little bit of speed to it. So if I go up to the top, that was pretty good. Now that I have this feeling of the sequence of what my arms are going to do while my body is initiating that downswing, now I can try and add a little bit more speed. Usually I'll say now do one at about 50%, 60%, and then 80%, and then we're pretty much back up to full swing tempo. So now this will be a little slow, closer to kind of a 50%. So that one worked out pretty well. Work up close to full speed after doing the half speed drill. So now we've got kind of a good rhythm going for the movements that we were training. As we put in more speed, maybe a feel will emerge, or maybe we'll figure out a tempo that will serve as our playing feel for when we go to the course tomorrow.